Hello children, welcome to our English class. So in our previous class, we were reading the story from Panchatantra. What was the name of the story? The King's Decision. So in our previous class, we have seen the three courtiers, fox, crow and leopard, appointed by the lion, have set out into the desert to find a camel. But halfway in the desert, the lion was exhausted and tells his courtiers to go back to the forest. But they had no idea, the courtiers had no idea how to take the exhausted lion back to the forest. So fox goes to bring the help and he finds camel. Now let us see what happens from there. Okay, again I'll read the lesson first. I want every one of you to look into the textbook, please. And whatever important words, new words we come across, you mark those words. As I told you, hold the book in your hands at a distance of 30 centimeters. Right. Now, the fox found the camel. Please come, my friend, he said to the camel. Our king wants to meet you. Your king, said the camel, surprised. I don't know any king. I only know my master, and I carry his loads across the desert. Our king is a lion, said the wicked fox. He has killed your master and set you free. He has now invited you to live at his court. Come on, hurry up. The camel followed the fox to the place where the others were standing. They were surprised. The lion was pleased. Climb onto his back, your majesty, said the fox. He'll carry you back to the forest. The lion jumped onto the camel's back. The fox and the leopard sat behind him. The crow flew ahead. By the time they reached the forest, they were tired and hungry. The fox, the leopard and the crow smiled happily at each other and then looked at the camel. The lion knew what they were thinking. They had brought the camel along so that they would get a share of the meat after the lion had eaten. The lion had other ideas. He was thinking differently from them. Friend, you have saved my life, he said to the camel. I thank you for it. You can live with me as long as you want, and I'll protect you. The courtiers were shocked. What was the king saying? They had risked their lives to get the camel and now the king wanted to protect him? They could not say anything as they were afraid of the lion. He ordered them to find some food. They had to obey him. While they were on their way to search for food, they discussed what to do. I know, said the fox. Let's make the camel offer himself to the king and request him to eat him. They all thought this was a good idea. They went back to the lion and told him that they had not found any food. However, they did not want the king to go hungry. So each of them offered himself to the king as food. The camel did not want to be left behind. He also asked the king to eat him. The three courtiers immediately were ready to pounce on him. The lion stopped them and said, You are all good and loyal subjects. I shall accept your offer. I shall eat you one by one in the order in which you have offered yourself to me. As soon as the lion said this, the three courtiers ran away as fast as they could. The king had a hearty laugh. He said to the camel, I know who's really loyal to me. You shall be my friend as long as I live. The camel was grateful and happy. The lion thought to himself, to be a king is good, but to be kind is even better. So, my dear students, I hope you enjoyed the story. You understood the story. But still, let us discuss what happened. The fox went into the desert and found the camel. Now, fox is wicked. How is the fox described, sir? The fox is described as wicked. W-I-C-K-E-D. How do you spell the word? W-I-C-K-E-D. Wicked. Wicked means what? Cruel. Wicked means people having intentions to harm others. So, fox was a wicked animal. What did it do? It told the camel, Camel, will you please come to my king? Our king wants to meet you. Then the camel said, King? I don't know any king. I only have a master. And I carry loads for my master. You know what our camels are used for? Camels are used to carry loads across the deserts. Camel is the only animal that can survive the hot and scorching heat in the desert. So, I have a master. I don't know any king. I carry loads for my master. Then the fox said, Oh, don't you know? Our king, lion, has killed your master. Now you are free. Now that your master is dead, you don't have to carry loads. You are a free animal. So please come and meet my king. Hurry up. Now the camel followed. The camel went along the fox. Crow, leopard, they were pleased. The lion, they were pleased to see the camel. Then as soon as the camel came near the other animals, the fox said, what did it say? Climb up. Climb onto his back, your majesty. He will carry you to the forest. Lion was terribly exhausted. So immediately what did he do, sir? He took the help of camel. He climbed onto the back of camel, and the camel carried him to the forest. Okay, did only the lion get on, sir? The fox and the leopard also sat behind the king. The crow flew. By the time they reached the forest, they were tired. They were hungry. But the leopard, the fox, and the crow were looking at each other and they were smiling. Why? Now the king, lion, understood the evil intentions of his courtiers. Now the courtiers are thinking that the lion will kill the camel, eat its meat, and whatever meat is left, the three courtiers can eat greedily and happily, thinking that they were smiling and laughing at each other. But our lion is a noble. We have seen the qualities that a king should possess. What is the first quality? A king should be selfless. What is the first quality, sir? A king should be selfless, not selfish. He should be selfless. So, he had different ideas. Seeing the evil intentions of his courtiers, the lion said, Dear camel, you have saved my life. What did the lion say, sir? The lion said, you have saved my life. So from now, you can stay with me as long as you want. I will protect you. My goodness, the king has given a word. The king said that he will protect the camel. The courtiers were shocked. They thought, what is happening? We brought this camel to eat its meat, but now the king is becoming sentimental. The king is thinking of saving the camel. So they were thinking of different ideas. The lion said to his courtiers, go and bring some food. Now the courtiers were in search of food. When they were searching for food, the wicked fox came up with an idea. He said, we will create a situation where the camel will offer itself as food to the lion. So the three courtiers came to the lion and said, "Oh lion, we searched every nook and corner of the forest, but we couldn't find anything for you to eat. So we don't want you to die hungry. We don't want you to go hungry. So, O king, O lion, you can eat me," offered the fox. Then came the leopard and said, "O king, you can eat me," said the leopard. Then came the crow and said, "O king, you can eat me." Now looking at this, the camel didn't want to be left behind. The camel don't want to be called as a selfish person. So the camel also said, "O king, you can also eat me if you are hungry," said the camel. As soon as camel said this, leopard and fox were ready to pounce, ready to jump onto the camel and eat. But then the lion said, what did he say? The lion stopped them and said, "You are all good, loyal subjects. You are all very loyal to me. You are all very dedicated to me. So I shall accept your offer. I shall eat you as you offered. Whoever offered first, come to me first. I'll eat you." Then as soon as the courtiers heard this, they started running away. They did not think that the lion will do this. So the king had a hearty laugh when he saw his courtiers running away to save their lives. The king had a hearty laugh and he said to the camel, what did he say? "I know who is really loyal to me." And the king said that to the camel. The king said, "You shall be my friend as long as I live." So the camel was grateful. Look at the spelling here. This is not that grateful. G-R-A-T-E. Grateful. That means thankful. The camel was thankful to the king and was very happy. The king thought, to be a king is good, but to be kind is even better. So we should always be kind. What is the most important lesson that we have learned from this? To be honest. Right? See, the leopard and the fox, could have suggested the king right thing, that they could have told, "We don't know." But in order to hide their foolishness, in order to hide their ignorance, they behaved foolishly and they have to suffer. Not only that, second important lesson is we should always be in the company of good people. See, leopard and the crow did not have any evil intentions, but even then they also have to suffer. Why? Because they were in the company of the wicked fox. The fox came up with all wicked thoughts and ideas. So my dear friends, what are the important lessons? First lesson is, please always be kind, be selfless, be in the company of right people, and be honest. When you know something, be assertive about what you know. When you don't know something, accept it readily. Say, "I am sorry, I don't know," but don't give wrong answers. Okay? So I hope all of you enjoyed the decision of the king. So this is how the Panchatantra stories are very amusing. So I request every one of you to buy those Panchatantra books and read the stories. So until we meet up in our next class, please take very good care. Thank you so much. Love you all.